Look, I'm not letting this shit be swept underneath the rug. Um, this whole thing about where a black man needs to be. I don't know why we're handing out participation awards. I don't. I understand. Dr. T. Hassan Johnson's not the only one, that's done it. But I understand. In trying to say, hey, brothers, you're not doing that bad, because we hear a whole bunch of negative stuff, right? And the numbers are just, they're skewed. You know what I mean? Like I said about the more black men in college versus black men being in jail. You're comparing 18 to the day that you died to 18 to 24, which is the age of most people that are in college. Another area where things get misconstrued. It's like, even like the murder rates. There's like 600, I already did the numbers before. There's 675,000 black people in the city of Philadelphia. And I think last year there was something like 400 murders, right? And so if each one of those murders represented an individual murder, we know that some people catch more than one body, but I'm saying if we just looked at the numbers on, so we got 400 murderers out of 675,000 black people. And I'm saying, even if you adjusted for age and the kids and all that stuff, you're talking, significantly less than 1%. I think when I did the numbers, if I accounted for everybody, it was like 1/10,000th of a percent. Give me 1/5,000th of a percent. I don't care what it is. The point is that those are small numbers. However, you have to put it in proper context. What's proper context? Okay, what's the white homicide rate look like? What's the white on white homicide rate look like? It's probably, they probably had 100 white people that were murdered last year. Right? Or you got to consider the fact that out of that 400 people who were killed, only 88% were actually black, right? Because that's the national average, right? Any homicide victims, 88% of them are black, right? Which is high. That's the majority, of the homicides. So you got to put it in its proper context. I can sit there and be like, well, that's an extremely low number. Why does everybody run around making it look like the black community is nothing but a bunch of murderers and rapists, right? Because you're only talking, significantly less than 1% of the population. Yeah, but when you compare that 1% of the population to another group, right? Then you really see, like, yeah, hey, we do have a problem here, right? And that's my point, right? So it's like, and again, I'm not charging Dr. T. Hassan Johnson with any sort of crime or anything. I support him wholeheartedly. I just have to point these things out, and I can't let this go because of the fact that, we end up getting into this whole participation award situation. So while he's saying, hey, it's only, 400 homicides out of, 675,000, right? And people not comprehending that murder is still a super rare event. It's like, hey, I get that, but relative to other communities, we have a significantly higher homicide rate. You see? And so, when Dr. T. Hassan Johnson is up there talking about, hey, brothers out here, so many of your brothers are in the middle class, or Kevin makes that point, and so many brothers are making X amount of dollars, and you got to understand that, there's so many like white men that are in abject poverty. Yeah, that's all cool, but it's the equivalent of let's say I'm doing SWP fitness training for black women, right? And I'm addressing everything. I'm addressing, the diabetes, the hypertension, right? I'm addressing the cardiovascular issues. I'm addressing all that. And on top of that, I'll throw on it the whole concept of beauty. We'll throw beauty in there. You got to look good for your man. So I'm throwing that on there. And we're in the gym class, right? I got all the fat black women. They on bicycles and everything else. And then here somebody comes in the room. well, beauty is only in the eye of the beholder. God damn it, man. What are you doing? What do you mean beauty is in the eye of the beholder? I'm trying to get these women right. Right? I finally got them to recognize, hey, we have a problem here. We have to solve this problem. And now all of a sudden people want to come in the room with beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's what's on the inside that counts. And I'm like, damn, like right as we're trying to start the fitness class, I'm like, God damn it, man. That's what it feels like to me. When I hear certain things, and then we get into don't make everybody feel bad participation awards. And that's exactly what the women do, when it comes to their funky ass shit. They start dishing out participation awards. And I'm saying, remove women from the room. Remove all black women from the room. We know how men are measured. We know how men measure each other. Hell, there's even hierarchies when men get in prison and they don't even have shit. And there's all type of hierarchies of what distinguishes one man from another man. And my frustration with black men is it's like we talk out of both sides of our face, right? When we have nothing, then we immediately go to the things that a man is measured by that are intrinsic. How courageous he is, his game, his street swag, his charisma, all that stuff. We immediately dive into that, right? Then simultaneously, all we do is make songs about money, money, money. I got more than this nigga. I don't know how many times I gotta listen to a song where the rapper goes, nigga, I'm in a Porsche, you in a Honda. I don't know how many times I gotta hear a song about something being wrong with a nigga being in a Honda. Right? So we understand that it is about money, but as soon as we get to talking about white supremacy or the supremacy of any other group and businesses and economics and everything, all of a sudden, money's not everything. Oh, well, I got the sweet twinkle of white Jesus in my eye. Like that brother came on Kevin Samuel's show. Well, Kevin, I'm a high value man because I serve the Most High. Literally, we are the equivalent of women, ugly women. It's the ugly girl argument. Ugly women who try to turn a beauty contest into a spelling bee. I'm like, we're not having a spelling bee right now. We're having a beauty contest. Yeah, but she sounds like an idiot. Yeah, but she looks good as hell. Like that's all that matters. She looks good. That's what we're talking about. When we're having the spelling bee, we'll call you up. And the same thing applies when we're having, an economic conversation or a money conversation. There are winners and there are losers. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And that's another thing that irritates me with a lot of these brothers that are in my comments section, because, when we get on the women, y'all have no problem. Oh, that bitch is ugly. She's just doomed. She's doomed. Right? But you start talking about, hey, this brother's only making, $30,000 a year, and that's not really enough to really comfortably support a family on, and he's just doomed. Oh no, can't say that. Can't say that. But you know what's so fucked up about that? The fact that, yes, I understand it's hard to create economic opportunities and all that, but I'm like, you still can change that. That can be changed. Right? The women out here doing it all the time, right? Let them tell it, right? But that could be changed. If a woman is hit, she's just hit. There ain't really much she can do about it, right? She can maybe take herself from a 5 to a 7, but she'll never be a 10. And nobody's saying that you gotta go from being a guy making $30,000 a year to being a guy that's making, $1 million a year. But why is it this, we can't conversation isn't had within other groups, right? They talk about how Asians have the highest income, household income, right? And Asians have an exceptionally high obtainment of degrees. Same with Nigerians. If you want to, continue to try to make it a race thing, right? Yes, we know white supremacy had their foot on our neck and messed us up in all type of ways, psychologically, economically, family structure, and all that. We get that. You know what I mean? But this whole like resting your like on these fucking like excuses and these participation awards. I'm like, nah, I'm not co-signing that. I acknowledge, oh yeah, we got shafted. Our shoelaces were tied at the beginning of the race. Oh yeah, it's majorly fucked up. But I'm not gonna, because we were fucked up, I'm not gonna suddenly say that it's no longer a race. It's not a race anymore. Yeah, it is. It's still a race. We're still in the race. I don't care how long it takes us to catch up. It's still a race. You're not gonna redefine it and say, oh well, I wasn't really racing. I just so happened I tripped at the starting line. Like, nah, fuck out of here. No, ain't no I tripped at the starting line. No, we got jammed up and we're way behind. We're a couple laps behind. And we're losing right now. Like, that's all there is to it. And once you accept that, then you can deal with tackling the problem. And see, look, we're going to have a sacrificial generation. Because, see, young guys, they can hear this information because they're like, damn, okay, I still got time. I'm still young enough to correct the shit. It's the old niggas that don't want to hear this shit. It's the ones that, went to college and maybe majored in some bullshit and then saying to themselves, God damn, I should have majored in something else. It's those ones, the ones that are regretting, or the ones that didn't go to college, or the ones that, went around chasing bitches for, a decade of their, in their 20s, and then now they're in their 40s or their 50s, and they're like, damn, like, what do I have to show for anything? Just like Cap's friend, that I think he's like 53 years old, and he went on a dating app. And the women on the dating app were basically saying, because it was like for older, like black folks. And they were like, look, if you don't got a house, you don't even need to entertain. You don't even need to talk to me. And he got all offended. And Cap was like, motherfucker, you been grown, man. You've been grown. A man your age is supposed to have his own shit. I mean, that comes standard. And, the thing is, it's like the older you get, the less impressive shit is. You know what I'm saying? It's impressive to have a house at, 25 years old. That's impressive. Having a house at 40 years old, nigga, you supposed to. It's not impressive anymore. That's why guys go out here and they try to reach back and dive and get with, 20-year-olds and shit like that, because they might be impressed if you're still looking young and you don't have a bunch of gray hairs. I saw some post the other day, this chick was like, when I see a nigga with gray waves, what I call them? I call them graves. Graves, like dead in the grave. I was like, oh my God. That shit was too funny. But again, you got brothers that want to listen in delusion. And then, again, the contradictions. Here you got Kevin Samuels, you got Dennis Sperling, right? What do they say? Well, us older guys, we should go back and reach back and get with some 20-year-olds, right? Because we're established. Women want resources. So how is it that resources suddenly become important to a man when they're damn near 50 or over 50, but then when it comes to 25-year-olds or it comes to 30-year-olds or it comes to 40-year-olds, it's not as important? That doesn't make any sense. Again, as we've been saying since day one, black men should be told, get your shit together as soon as possible. As soon as possible. It will make your life easier, significantly easier. I don't care how brothers out here feeling. Just like I tell with the women that are single mothers and they done messed up, and the women that blew up and everything else, and they're over there feeling somewhat, fuck them. I'm focused on the young women who haven't fucked up yet. You haven't fucked up yet, don't end up like that bitch over there. Okay? She's bitter, she's alone, she's delusional, she's having guys that are just coming through and just fucking her, and she's thinking that it's going to be, some relationship heading towards marriage. 9 times out of 10 it's not. Okay? Like, don't end up like her. Right? Maintain your weight, look good, cooperative, submissive, docile, attractive, feminine, all that shit. Okay? And you'll be all right. And, the same thing goes with the dudes. Get your shit together as soon as possible, and you're going to be in a significantly better place. as opposed to handing out participation awards, all because the people that found out the information too late are feeling butthurt. I mean, this is how you maintain standards. Standards don't give a fuck about how many people fall in and fall out of it. They don't give a fuck. Standards have to be maintained. And that's what should be going on here. But it just seems like and I'm saying, again, you remove women from the conversation, and all of a sudden you start hearing black men. They sound exactly like the women. Oh, well, I mean, I'm saying, I can't reach that point, and and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, it's like the ugly girl versus the fat girl. You know what I mean? Like when the fat girl responds, is like, yeah, I may be fat, but I can lose weight, bitch. You're still ugly. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, again, men have no damn mercy when it comes to women that are unattractive. But when it comes to the women that, men in finances, oh man. Oh, but, and I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, nah, you went in hard in the paint on her looks. I'm like, she can go hard in the paint on your money. And again, we're talking about cooperative feminine women. We're not talking about matriarchs. We're not talking about women talking about you got to win a race war and all that bullshit. If a man can provide a comfortable lifestyle, that should not be doo-dooed on. You know what I mean? But again, it should be, black men should be out here like the sky is the limit. Like how much money do you need? I don't know. Keep going. That's how we should operate. That's how every other group operates. You know what I mean? It's not like Jeff Bezos sits there and says, oh, well, I think I have enough money now. Bill Gates doesn't say, oh, well, I think I have enough money now. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't say, oh, well, I think I have enough money now. No, they're pursuing power. Power. So technically speaking, it shouldn't even be down to some dollar amount. Your goal should be power, because once you have all the money in the world, the only thing to pursue after that is power. But brothers is like, oh, this stupid ass idea in the blog, six figures. That's nothing on the scale of real wealth. That's nothing. Y'all need to wake up. You need to smell the coffee. You need to smell it, cause a lot of y'all not smelling it. You over here, just making all time. I don't care where you fall on the totem pole. Everybody should be striving to get to that next level, whatever that next level is for you. And understand, there's levels to this shit. You're not gonna be on par with a dude that's making, significantly more money than you. Just as much as a woman who's a 4 is not going to be on par with a woman that's a 10. It's just not a reality. Okay? 4 Harriet is not on par with 6 the Goddess. Unfortunately, 6 the Goddess has the baby. But in terms of beauty, not on par. Not on par. Now that doesn't say, oh, for Harriet, she's just hit and it's just a hopeless, that's just it. No, that's not what I said. I just said she's not on par with 6 the Goddess. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you can point out a whole bunch of, entertainers, whatever you want to call, whatever black men. Y'all got your hierarchies for black men. Y'all could come out and say, oh, well, this brother, what's the guy's name? The Glover guy. This is America. What's his name? I can't think of what his name off the top of my head. But I'm saying he's not on par with Kofi. He's not on par with Idris Elba. He's not on par. You could just go through the list. Not on par. And we need to accept the fact that there's levels to this shit. But anytime we get to this money conversation, and this has been an ongoing issue since in the over a decade I've been online. Every time we get to talking about money, that's when black men start sounding like some bitches. When you say you need to be here, and this is what we're striving for, and this is what the goal, and this is and this is, where we collectively need to be. Again, like I said, Asian community don't have any issue with that. That's the standard. Indian community don't have any issue. That's the standard. Nigerians, that's the standard. But for some reason, when it comes to us, we get in our feelings. And I say, fuck that shit. So anyway, I'm done. That's all I got to say. That's my video for now. I'm dropping my damn cologne. That's all I got to say. Again, this video is not to shit on anybody. I'm just saying that this is, you'll see it. See, once you see it, you start listening to brothers, you'll start really picking up on it. All that crap, Kevin, I think I'm a high value man because I serve the Most High. You're like, what? And like I said, the problem is, and I've always had I've had a problem with women do this. I have a problem with men do this. Okay. We have major problems in the black community. You have to be very specific and very crystal clear about what the goals and the objectives are and what the standards are. Otherwise, you leave it too vague. And I know why people do this. They leave it too vague and too open, and people start coming in the room that, don't need to be in the room. It's just like, in Philadelphia, when I was at one of the meetings, and the brother tried to tell me, that, like you could be rich in your own way. I was like, no, you can't be rich in your own way. Richness that's based on a finite number. It's based on tangibles. It's based on what you have. Trying to tell me you could be rich in your own way. We're talking about money here. We're not talking about all the other ways that you can be rich, and you could be spiritually rich, or you could be rich as a father. We're not talking about that, Nuka. Damn. We're talking about money here. Again, money is the medium of exchange. Money equals power. Money allows you to do things, right? And if it's not money, whatever it is, money, stocks, bonds, whatever you have that's liquid. If you got 100 goats and you're in Africa, in ancient times, whatever it is, you have to have tangibles. You have to have things that other people want and need. They want your money. They want your resources. They want to trade. They want to exchange. If you have that, you can do things. If you don't have that, you can't do things. And so when we're talking about challenging white supremacy or the supremacy of any other group and economically competing, okay, you have to recognize that you can't be on the football field with a tennis racket. We're playing football here. Did you bring your pads? Because you're about to get hit. And some of y'all want to come on here with a tennis racket and then try to, change the laws of the universe and change the whole world into recognizing your bullshit. Just like that man in the Flag Wars video when he went up in that court talking about, I'm Chief Papalapa Waka Shango. And they're like, we don't give a fuck about you being chief of anything. You are here in the American court of law. And you are not in compliance. And that's all we care about. Are you complying? Okay, you not complying. It would have been better if the brother just went in there and said, no, I'm not going to comply. That would have been a whole different conversation. But he went in there like him and his African stick had some goddamn authority in the white man's courts. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, if you look at all the court systems, all the legal law and everything, and the ways in which black people have won, their court cases. Hell, we can look at Bill Cosby right now. You use the words and the laws that the white man has put down. You say, oh, these are the rules? Okay, well, we're going to play by your rules. Fuck it, let's go with that. You see? And they've tried in the past, and don't get me wrong, they've got away with some injustice, but they got to uphold something. They have to uphold the standard, because if they don't uphold the standard, the whole system and everybody that's supposed to comply with that system will collapse. Because people will be like, oh, well, shit, if they ain't following the rules, well, we ain't following them. That was the whole thing with the George Floyd and all the people going out there and protesting and rioting in the streets. If the enforcers of the law aren't going to follow the law, why the fuck should we? You see? So again, when you playing the white man's game, that's how you got to play this shit. You don't come to the football field with a damn tennis racket and a tennis ball. We playing football. You don't come to the soccer field with ice skates on. If we're playing football, we're playing damn football. You know, I mean, damn, man. And then, like, it's like, even when you look at sports, you know, it's like, notice how, because we're awesome at sports, we have no issue coming to the football field with a football, because we're awesome at sports. But we didn't just magically, intrinsically become awesome at sports. You know what I'm saying? Like first off, like, Africans weren't playing football in Africa, so there's no genetic predisposition to that makes us superior at playing football. No. Hell, we were denied from it. They had the Negro Leagues. But then we got into football and we excelled. Okay? And black men should be looking at finance the same way. It's like, oh, well, we haven't done this. We haven't. Yeah, they said the same thing about baseball until niggas was knocking baseballs out of the fucking park. Oh, well, they say we can't play football. Yeah, they said the same thing until Bo Jackson and Emmitt Smith were breaking people's ankles and Deion Sanders was breaking people's ankles and shit. You know, oh, well, niggas, they can't play basketball. Yeah, they said the same thing until Michael Jordan dunked from the foul line. Okay, so again, if we had that same, if we took the same confidence that we now have in sports and put it into other areas, oh, it's beast mode. It's beast mode. You have white men running around. It's not fair. It's not fair. Then they would be trying to change the fucking rules. You see? You know what I mean? Make them change the rules when you start winning at their own game. That's when they come in and change the rules. You know, and then we can have that conversation later on. But right now, I just hear a whole bunch of bitch assness, man. I just hear a whole bunch of, oh, well, you're still good. You're still here. You're still this. You're still that. I'm like, what is the goal here? Is it the goal to make us feel good about not fixing the problem? Or is the goal to motherfucking win? Anyway, that's my video. SWP out.